So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today I want to check out the final weapon augment from the Ambulance Reborn operation, Neutralizing Justice. Now this is a Mitre specific augment that gives each blade a 90% chance to destroy a nullifier bubble, and it adds the Justice effect, which once you gather enough affinity will explode, dealing 1000 blast damage to all enemies within 25 meters and knock them down. And the secondary effect is that it will heal you for 25% of your maximum health and boost your base armor by 25% for 30 seconds. And you should eventually be able to pick this up from the Steel Meridian Syndicate, or you can just trade for it with other players. Now there isn't much to say about this augment really, because it's A, very simple, and B, fairly self-explanatory. It just does what it says on the tin. Each blade you fire with the Mitre has a 90% chance to destroy a nullifier bubble, which, if you factor in the multi-shot from Split Chamber, is basically going to happen every single time. There's only a very small chance that you will fire the Mitre and it will not break the bubble. But there are a few things worth mentioning, because nowadays nullifier bubbles are projected by the small drones that the nullifiers keep in their backpack. And the only way to permanently destroy a nullifier bubble is to shoot the drone, because if you just shoot the bubble, yes, it will pop, but the drone will just fly into the nullifier's backpack and reappear after a couple of seconds. But shooting the drones isn't always easy, especially on Corpus ship tile sets where the corridors are fairly small and the drones like to clip through the ceiling. With the Neutralizing Justice augment, however, as soon as you hit the bubble and it pops, the drone explodes, permanently disabling the bubble and essentially turning the nullifier into a sniper crewman. And even though I've received quite a few messages telling me that this mod is amazing because it breaks Arctic Eximus bubbles, it doesn't. It only works versus nullifiers. And I almost forgot, popping a bubble does not consume the Mitre blade. It can still bounce around, so you can pop multiple bubbles with a single shot. Now, since the Mitre is one of my favorite weapons in the game, and I also hate nullifiers with a passion, it should come as no surprise that I absolutely love this augment. The Syndicate effect doesn't make an awful lot of sense for the Mitre, but, it will give you a little bit of crowd control, a bit of damage, and it will heal you and boost your armor, which is nice, especially if you're like me and you like running tanks. It is somewhat niche, because if you're fighting the Infested or the Grenier, you're only getting the benefit of the Syndicate effect because they don't have nullifiers. But it's not as niche as some people make it out to be, because Corpus aren't the only faction that have nullifiers. The Corrupted have nullifiers as well, which extends its usefulness over to Void and Fissure missions as well. And at the end of the day, it is a very cheap mod that adds the Justice effect, so, you can keep it on for Grenier and Infested as well. Neutralizing Justice just turns the Mitre into the perfect anti-Corpus tool, and you should definitely get it even if you don't like the Mitre, because I can think of like bazillion different situations where this augment is going to be incredibly useful. You don't even have to have a full build on the Mitre, because just the ability to permanently destroy any nullifier bubble from a safe distance is good enough. And I know that in a lot of situations you can just empty your magazine into the nullifier bubble and then mow the nullifier down before the bubble reappears, but sometimes you will have enemies in the way so you don't get to the nullifier in time, or there is an ancient somewhere giving the nullifier a ridiculous damage reduction, or the nullifier is just behind a corner. And none of that matters with Neutralizing Justice, because you just point at a nullifier bubble and it's gone forever, even if there are enemies in the way, because if you charge the Mitre you get punched through. So yeah, as I've said already, even if you don't like the Mitre, definitely get this augment and slap it on, because there will come a situation where you will really appreciate the ability to pop nullifier bubbles on demand. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!